Welcome to the session of Cloud NIST service and storage. Now we'll try to see what is meant by NIST. So it's like National Institute of Standard Technology, where you have the federation where everyone will be have the acceleration of effective and secure cloud computing to reduce the cost and improve services, and how it can be framed, and what are all the basic instructions and rules and regulations can be done to form a framework for the betterment of the particular cloud computing. So here you just see cloud computing target businesses which sees the use cases of the cloud computing. It will refer the architecture and taxonomy, how it can be framed to the end user, and it will see how the standards can be framed, and how it leads to the roadmap to the success of how all the other end users can able to access a particular thing, and it will go with the standard acceleration to the adaptation of the cloud computing. So by that, these are the important standards which are being framed for the particular cloud to have the standardized regulation rules and to follow for the particular end user. So here the main objective is to check how these are applied in the services. So main 5 essential characteristics for the underlining view of like online demand service, and how we are going to give the broad network access, how you are going to provide with the network resource pooling, how you are going to bring the rapid elasticity, and then how you are going to provide the message services to the end user. So here the generic architecture of the cloud reference architecture will be like so here you have the classifications, like you have one end with the cloud consumers. So where you have the all the end user who are trying to access a particular cloud framework through the network to access a particular services, like maybe like infrastructure or platform or software, depending upon the demands which is being enhanced by the particular user, depending upon the requirement which are given by the organization, the cloud consumer will have the particular range of requirements. So those are all will comes under the cloud consumers, where you have the different set of people will be there in the cloud consumer. Then you go with the categorization of cloud auditors. So cloud auditors mainly deals with the security audit, and they will try to check the privacy of the particular user by using the privacy impact audit categorization, and then you go with the performance audit. So that these are the three main important aspects of cloud auditor. Then you go with the cloud provider. So cloud provider mainly deals with the service oriented approaches, where you have the service level, like as I said before, it deals with the service as a service, software as a service, infrastructure as a service, and platform as a service. And then you go with the cloud service management. So in that cloud service management, we have the categorization as business support, provision and configuration, and then you go with the portability and interoperability. And then you have the separate categorization like resource abstraction and control layer, and you have the physical resource layer. In physical resource layer, you have the hardware and facility as a key main aspects, and then you go with it go with the concepts of security and privacy. And then you have the component like cloud broker. So in that cloud broker, you have the service intermediation, and then you have the service aggregation, and then you have the service arbitrage, and then the last part will be like cloud carrier. So each and every component will have their own basic features and techniques will be there. So in cloud consumer, as I said before, you have the requirements brought by the user depending upon the demands by the particular organization. Then you have the cloud auditor, you have the separate key important things like security audit. So when it is like a process is running, when the particular application is running in a cloud platform, you need to check. You have the you need to have the audit then and there, how the process is being carried out, how the resources have been used by the particular user. If there is any particular data losses, then we need to rectify by checking in which part of the particular data is missing. We need to check then and there, and then we need to check how the privacy is being maintained. So every user will have the particular privacy concern depending upon the constructions of the particular rules and regulation of the organization. So the privacy will privacy check is very important in terms of security of a particular data. So privacy check is to be done on a regular basis for the particular application deployment, and then you need to check the performance. So now while you are checking the privacy and security, ultimately the performance will be in a normal increasing mode, it will have the application running in a very smooth and reliable manner. And then you go with the service orchestration, where you have the infrastructure, platform, and software as a service. So we have already discussed that you can build a main service level as a huge servers can be built by using infrastructure as a service, and platform where you can have the liability to build what are all the required operating systems are required to build. And then you need software as a service, where you can have the real-time application which are required for building a particular software. And then you go with the physical resource layer. You have the hardware application, and you have the facility, how you are going to check and what are the important aspects which are required for the building upon a particular hardware related based applications. And you need to check what are the resources which is being applied to the particular hardware to be built. And then you go with the cloud service management. So service management mainly deals with the business support. So how we are going to support to the market, and what are all the additional requirements that are needed to build that particular application. These are the initial things which are being used for the business support. And then you need to check what are all the configuration, what are all the components that are required which meets the particular business need. And we need to check how it's been portability and how it been effectively used by all the end users. And then it goes is the cloud broker. It goes with the service intermediation. So how the service are mutually given to all the users for the accessing the data. And we need to check how the services are being aggregated in between the particular user to handle that particular components and architect of the particular resources to the end users. So these are the important things which comes under the mainstream of architecture. So the main computational reference model will be like, so you have the blending of all the important aspects. So you have the cloud auditor, you have the cloud provider, you have the cloud broker, you have the cloud consumer. Each and every aspects are like intermutual to one another, so that the process will not be get delayed, and it cannot be there won't be any data loss. It will have the faster processing of data when it is being mutually blended together. So these are the important things. So how the path can be provided between the one user to the other user, how the resources can be shared from the one user to the other user. So these are all the important things which have been comes under the referential model. So that how the interaction can be done among the particular components, so that it will be in an effective or in an effective manner. So then it will be like how the interactions can be done among the cloud consumers. So once the cloud consumer are required or being ready with the cloud or being ready with the data or the requirements, then it will moves on to the cloud broker. So from that cloud broker, it will be mutually divided and given to the cloud service provider 1, 2, and it will be goes on. So like this way, the data, the requirement, the usability of the data will be partially divided and given to each and every users. This is like a usage scenario for cloud brokers. Then you go with the cloud carriers. So cloud consumers, when they are done with the process, they will move on toward the cloud providers who are going to support that particular consumer with the requirement which is being given by them. And then it transforms that particular thing to the cloud carriers. And then you go with the cloud auditors. So cloud auditors mainly check what are the things which is given in a right manner or not. So this is the main important work which is being allocated to the cloud auditors. And then you go with the main overall like architect of the particular cloud consumer. So cloud consumer will be at one end, and you have the SAS consumers will be there, PAS consumers will be there, IAS consumers will be there. So in SAS consumer, you have the more attributes and components will be there. So it has the attributes like human resources, social networks, financial components are there, content managements are there, email and office productivity are there, document management components are there, collaborative learning, collaborative methods are there, CRM are there, sales managements are there, billing sectors are there, common ERP resources are there. So these are all the important key components which are being there in the SAS consumers. Now you go with the PAS consumers. Here you have the components like database, application deployment, integration, deployment testing, and business level intelligence. So these are all the important things which are being there in the PA. So where you need to check the database integrity, the application deployment, how we are going to integrate, how we are going to use the business level intelligence to the particular thing, how you are going to test that particular data. So these are like PAS, and then you go with the IAS components, consumers. So here you have the storage, here you have the CDN, here you have the backup and recovery, and here you have the compute process, you have the platform level hosting, here you have the service level management. So these are all the important things which comes under the IAS consumers. Then you go with the important cloud providers. So cloud providers mainly deals with the privacy concern, where where all the user can't able to get that particular data which is been under the privacy concern. So one or more user will be only having the privacy concern, so that the other users can't able to get or retrieve the particular data from the particular client. So security concern will be there. Security concern will be there in the particular zone, and then cloud service management will be there. Service orchestration will be there, and then service level deployment will be there. So these are the important aspects, key features which is being done by the cloud provider. So cloud auditor mainly handles the security level control. Controlling ability should be there for the user for that particular accessing of a data, and there it will be a private impact will be there, and how you are going to check the performance of the particular user, how you are going to check the performance of all the users, and then how you are going to aggregate the data of the to the users, and it will also check or it will also provide the connectivity and transport of the cloud services between the cloud consumer and cloud providers through the networks, through the telecommunication, through the accessing devices. So these are the main important things of cloud auditors and cloud providers. So as I said, SOA already we have defined that it is like a life cycle where it provides the start of SOA model by phase. It will give the business requirement, it will design the business processes, and definitions will be there for providing the level of agreement. It will give being as assets to be deployed into a secure and integrated environment for people to process and to perform the operations in the optimized way to bring the business process in a need. So SOC is a simple fact that provide a problem to become much easier to approach into a smaller units and to have a separate basis. So here you have the scope where you have the provider will have the access of SAS, PAS and IAS. In between you have the layers of OS, like layers of a cloud, like application layer, middleware layer, and then you have the operating system layer, and you have the cloud consumer also in at the other end. So once cloud provider and cloud consumer should be both combined to form a scope of control for the particular user. And then you have the public cloud, where you have the servers will be there accessing by the public users, which is being blended to the internet to the consumer, where the consumer will be like enterprise. Consumer will be accessing that by using the enterprise network, where the accessing of the cloud from within the enterprise network. At the other end, the cloud consumers are accessing the cloud over the internet through to get the particular data. Private on-site private cloud will be like consumer enterprise network will be on hold with the private cloud network access to provide the particular data, which will be consumed only by the particular private organization. So visualization, like on-site community cloud, where you have the entire community at one end, you have the entire organization at the another end. How we are going to blend that particular organization with the cloud is meant to be as an on-site community blending of the data. So hybrid is like more or like public and private mix, where you have the public usages is also there, you have the private usability is also there. So all those things combined will have to form a hybrid cloud. You have a public cloud, on-site community cloud, distributor, private cloud. So you have entire thing to form as a normal hybrid cloud. So you have a cloud provider and cloud service management. So it is mainly deals with the public support, configuration and portability. In that you have the contract basis, you have the accounting and basis, you have the billing basis. In configuration you have the resources change, you have the monitoring and reporting processes there, you have the SLA management is there, and then you go with the portability. You have the flexibility of data portability, you have the service interoperability, and then you have the service interoperability process is there, system portability process is there. So these are all the factors which comes under the portability.